Welcome to today's session, everyone. We like to call this Find Your Fit at Make a Change Canada. It's our version of an information session, and today is Thursday, September 15th, 2016. So welcome to our session and thanks for joining us. We've got a number of different people in the room here today joining us. Douglas Tardif from the Business Abilities Program is here, and he's residing in Ontario. And as well from our team is Mary Alton, and Mary is in Moncton, New Brunswick. As well, we have Colins Story, who is our technology coordinator, and Colins here today, and she'll be recording the session and available if you have any questions on a technical basis. So again, thank you, and I'm going to move along now and cover what we want to cover off here today in our session. So topics are, we'll talk about Make a Change Canada, who we are and what we do. I want to speak specifically about our clients and give you an idea of who is attracted to our programs and where they're located. We'll talk about our programs and services and as well labor market information, so the relevance of the programs. Now there's ways to get involved with Make a Change Canada, and I'll pretty much finish up by going through that. Some important dates are coming up, such as the intakes, and as well how to contact us. So during the session, if you have any questions, feel free to ask. I will stop at certain points during the session, giving you the opportunity. And as well, you can save them for the end. You can type in the chat area if you have any questions or comments, or even use your microphone. So first, a look at Change Canada. We were formerly called the Canadian Society for Social Development, or CSSD, and we worked together and renamed the organization in 2015. We were founded in 2004 as a federal corporation, and in 2005 we gained status as a registered charity. Our programs actually got their start in the Community Futures organization, and that was a really great start for the organization. In terms of, I think it really gave us a business and a going forward type of attitude, and we continue on in that sort of that environment to this day. We're a virtual organization, and we have employees in BC, Alberta, Ontario, and New Brunswick. And to date, we have served over 2,000 clients. A good way to get to know a little bit more about Make a Change Canada is to take a look at our mission. At Make a Change Canada, we develop and deliver business startup and web technology training to people facing challenges to employment. This training is delivered from our program websites and features a self-paced and supportive learning environment. Through our online curriculum and our skilled and caring service teams, Make a Change Canada is empowering others to realize their full potential. So I hope that gives you a pretty good idea of what we do here on the ground at Make a Change Canada. I'll go through our programs, as I said, specifically. Really, to look at it visually, Make a Change Canada, we've got the two programs. One's Web Essentials, Web Advanced, or IBDE, and the other is Business Abilities, that we refer to often as just the BA program. But really at the heart of it is the people, is our clients, is people just working together to really key into what people want to achieve in their lives and really supporting that and working to make that happen. So we have a real focus here on helping people. We're a registered Canadian charity, so that makes a lot of sense that we want to help people. We want to help them get a new start, and we really, really love what we do. This is a picture of our team at our Christmas party the last year, and we're located all across Canada. And yeah, it's really wonderful to work together in this sort of environment and work to help people to get ahead in life. So who are our clients then, and what brings them to us? This is really nice. This is a bit of a visual, and it gives you an idea of sort of the prevalence of people and sort of their life situations and why they would come to us for our programming. We're serving a lot of people who are living with a disability. We're also serving clients who have a lack of formal education. Some of our clients already have an education, but they need to switch gears and move into something new. We are serving people who are unemployed, people who are underemployed, and also people who are working. Where we have single parents, we have older workers, we even have grandparents who may have custody of their grandchildren and are facing that sort of life challenge day to day. There's small business owners and entrepreneurs. There's people coming straight out of high school, so youth. There's college and university graduates, as I mentioned, and people who really need to ramp up their education. There's also parents with children with disabilities, which can be quite a challenge in the workplace to be able to completely satisfy your employer when you're having to attend to your child's needs on a regular basis. It can be a real challenge to hold employment. So I hope that gives you a bit of an idea. I can say that our clientele is just really all over the map, and that's, I think, what makes it really interesting in day-to-day for us in our jobs, is that everyone's unique and has a different set of circumstances as to why they're looking at our programs as an alternative. So where do our clients live? We have a really good representation of clients all across the country and into every tip and corner of the country as well. Up into the north, in the Yukon, Haida Gwaii, in the west, the farthest reaches there, out to the tip of Newfoundland, and everywhere in between. But of course, our largest provinces are British Columbia and Ontario in terms of population. So the majority of our clients are from BC and Ontario, but also within Alberta and the Maritimes as well. Our clients themselves, and I like this as a visual because it gives you an idea of the diversity that I was speaking about. Our clients really are all over the map, ages, backgrounds, everything. And what it is that they're really talented, determined, and savvy, but quite often they're at a place where they're stuck in terms of their career and really needing some assistance. So that's what we're here for. I'd like to start off with a bit of a story, and I know a lot of Colin's story myself because I'm in a lot of contact with Colin on a weekly basis. So, but to back up, Colin was working in Vancouver. He started out as a volunteer and then he got hired into a computer support lab. And that was a really good position. He really enjoyed it. But Colin was unfortunately having to travel an hour and a half each way on transit. And due to his physical condition, he was actually starting to experience some pain and a lot of discomfort due to having to travel to that job. So he could no longer work in that capacity. So he was interested in technology anyway, and he learned about the IBDE program and decided to take it. He eventually completed both of our web development programs, and today he's a successful web programmer running a firm called Keen Computing Solutions, and that's his website there, and Colin's centered in Surrey, British Columbia. So I'll just read you probably the last part of his testimonial. He says, since taking the IBDE course, I have become more proficient and confident in developing websites. I have developed numerous websites since my graduation, and even my clients are impressed with my work. If it weren't for the IBDE course, I don't know what I would be doing as a career. The IBDE course and instructors have given me knowledge and confidence, which have shaped my career as a successful freelance website developer. And Colin actually works for us. He's working for us both as doing a bit of programming in PHP coding, but he also works with us as a peer tutor for people who need some extra assistance with their learning. So that leads nicely into just talking about the Web Essentials Web Advanced program, which is also known as the IBDE program, which originally meant Internet Business Development for Entrepreneurs. Over time, the nature of the program has changed. It's not just for entrepreneurs. It's really for people who need to get an edge in the labor market again. And it's a nice, short 6-month program that's college accredited that can make that happen really nicely for people. So it's an online college accredited program in web technologies and design. This program is open to anyone meeting the eligibility requirements, which are a grade 12 graduation or an equivalent combination of education and experience. Applicants must also successfully complete a 30-minute interview and a basic computer skills assessment to be accepted into the program. They've got an upcoming start date of October 17th, 2016. That's for the 6-month program. And then the 4-month Web Advanced program will run next spring, starting in May 2017. So a bit more detail about the Web Essentials Web Advanced program. It's really comprehensive. It covers all of the really core theory and skills that are necessary to work in the field. We teach website layout and design techniques, Adobe Photoshop, HTML5 and CSS3 coding, JavaScript, custom templates, e-commerce, designing for mobile, web marketing, and then in the advanced program, PHP, MySQL, web programming, and WordPress CMS. And the really great thing about the program, there is a practicum, and students build a custom design website for a business or organization in their community or for themselves. The fees for the program, and it is a fundable program, are $3,995 for the tuition and $495 for each Web Advanced course. There's also a small software fee for the Web Essentials program. So as I said, the program we've shifted our way of thinking about the program over time. We talk to a lot of graduates, we hear what they're achieving in their lives after taking the program, and it isn't just about web design, and as I said, it isn't just about entrepreneurship. We see people coming to the program who have a dated resume, who have some great background experience, say, in administration, but they can't get the attention of an employer. So once they can pick up this certificate and the experience, they're able to become competitive in the labor market again. So some of our graduates have been hired as receptionists, but they're hired because they can update the website. It's because they can do the blog, they can do the newsletter, the HTML emails, a bit of design. There's a variety there, but it's really a great way to get a good job in, say, a nonprofit, real estate office, chamber of commerce. This is all happening for graduates of our program. The other thing we see is people coming from working in the marketing field, maybe beginning as a designer, but also people who've worked, say, in event management as coordinators, but they lack technology skills. And what's happening for these people nowadays is that customers are coming to them, and sure, it's great to organize a conference or an event, but they're going to be 10 to 1 asking for materials to be developed as well. So that person really needs the skills, or they're not going to be offering what the market is demanding. So things are going super well for people, our graduates that have a marketing background in event coordination. Also, people are designing their own business websites in the program, and there's been some really neat websites developed over the years. We have a woman selling fairy gardens. We had a woman selling little dog outfits and whatnot. So there's a huge variety there, way too many to list, but that's a really good way for an entrepreneur to build a business website as well. And there are people who are getting jobs as junior developers, so working in the traditional field as well. What's really the key here is that the graduates are picking up competencies that employers and customers today require. And there are certificates in the programs that graduates earn. Web Essentials offers the certificate in web technologies and design, and the Web Advanced program provides a certificate in advanced web technologies and design. So I hope that gives you an overview of the web development program that we offer. I'll tell you a little bit about one of our graduates, Cameron, and he's sort of interesting because he's taken both of our programs, both Web Essentials and Web Advanced, but he also moved on to our Business Abilities program. So Cameron ran into some difficulties during the program itself, mainly in the Web Advanced program. And it really demonstrates the flexibility of the program because he was able to communicate his needs to us. He needed some time to just make an adjustment on the health end of things for himself. And we were able to accommodate that. And he was successful in graduating. He really did run into a very, very difficult spot. But the beauty of it is that he was able to graduate. He was working with an agency in his community, and so a job developer or a career counselor. And as soon as finishing the program, he was hired. He found a job right away, and he sent us this email, which is really a nice message to receive from him that day. I'll read most of it here. Hey all, I have had a really good week. Here is some good news. After notifying the job coordinator of my completion of IBDE's program, I received a job posting via email Tuesday. I contacted the company Wednesday and landed an informal interview the same day. I had a 15-minute meeting with the head of the company in the afternoon and started 8 a.m. the next day for a work trial. Skipping ahead, the project I finished was building a new site for a small company. My boss is happy with it, but I think it could still use some work. Anyway, he got us to check out his website. He welcomed some feedback on it. He says, I wanted to thank you for all your guidance and support throughout the past year. Completing a college program after failing to finish my university education was a great accomplishment for me. You have all been a really big help. Have a good one. Thanks, Cameron. So Cameron always signed his emails with have a good one, so it's really nice to reflect back and read this again. Now the thing about Cameron, he has a condition called bipolar disorder, and so Cameron was able to achieve all the success despite having it's a serious condition to live with. And I learned a lot about bipolar disorder just by my communication with Cameron. But not also that, but he has a blog that he's worked on, and he's related his personal experience in such a descriptive manner that you really get a feeling for what it could be like to have bipolar disorder. So Mary's providing the link to his blog there, and I do encourage you to give it a read. But I would say that Cameron's a huge success, just to have worked through those extreme difficulties and to have completed a program and moved on to a job. So that's quite a lot of information, but mainly some interesting stories sharing the background of some of the clients who have come our way. And I'm wondering if anyone here can identify with the situations, the circumstances, the dreams that some of our clients aim to achieve. Or I'm wondering what your career goals might be, or anything. If there's any questions or comments, that's why we're here. So do feel free to type in the chat box or speak into the microphone, and I've got 2 staff people here. We're happy to answer any questions as well. maybe what I'll do is I'll call on Mary Alton at this point. And Mary, is there anything that particularly struck you within those stories, or anything, any way you can relate that back to your work with clients on a day-to-day basis?
Thanks, Anne-Marie. I appreciate the opportunity just to make a few comments here. And hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. I've been with the organization for over 8 years now, so I've really had a chance to meet a lot of extraordinary individuals. And, I think that is one thing that I consistently see from year to year. People who are facing so many different challenges in their life, and different in every case. And yet that is not stopping them from, doing everything they can to move forward, to look at ways of improving their life and their situation, and to still move towards achieving the goals that they have. And, I think a lot of it is whatever people may be facing, they are somehow able to reframe their situation in such a way that they can say, okay, you know what, I can make a choice that I'm just going to kind of give up, or I'm going to say, no, you know what, this is what I'm dealing with, this is what I have to deal with, but I'm still going to move forward and accomplish what I can and what I want to accomplish. So it really is, I feel very blessed, number one, but it's really so inspiring just to see some of the odds that people are facing. In particularly cases where there are individuals that maybe just did not see a chance of moving ahead, doing something positive, finding either a job or a business that they could really do, enjoy, and be successful at. So it's really wonderful for us, I think, as staff members to have so many extraordinary individuals coming into our programs, being able to work with them at the capacity that we do. And I think the fantastic thing that I love as part of my job is we see people coming back. Some of those people may be coming back to actually want to give back and to also give hope to others. So sometimes sharing their experience of what they've been dealing with and how they've been able to be successful with their goals. Maybe it's somebody who just wants to share in contributing to the organization by volunteering their time, or, as Anne-Marie mentioned, people like Colin, who are now part of our team, which is a wonderful thing. And I remember working with Colin when he was a student in the program, so, now to be able to work with him as a colleague is so exciting. And that's much like with Kayleen, who is here and doing a fantastic job as part of our organization, so she's now a team member. And we see people even coming back who've had to leave our programs for a period for whatever their personal circumstances were, and maybe couldn't continue, or perhaps were successful and now they were looking for additional assistance or additional support, and they come back to us. So to me, it's really just an extraordinary opportunity. And I know I keep using that word, but it really is what it comes down to. It's a very special thing to work with people at this capacity, but at the same time, it's the clients themselves that make it so special. So I just wanted to share that little bit because it really is just a wonderful organization, wonderful group of individuals, and I think even if you come here as a client, there's some really fabulous people that you get to meet as part of the program, opportunities to network with other individuals who are like-minded and maybe facing similar circumstances, and just remember that you're not alone. But also see that other people are able to be successful and move forward, and hopefully that gives you that extra little push to know you can do it too. So that's all I have to say.
Thank you so much, Mary. So well put in so many different ways, and I'm always impressed with all the layers that you're able to describe and the richness. It truly is. There's so much diversity. We work with incredible individuals. Carolyn has to say, my daughter has severe social anxiety and nonverbal learning disorder, and as well as MA dysfunction, so has spent the last decade since high school helplessly believing that there is no place for her in the work world. I would love for her to take Web Essentials and that last story renewed my hope. We'll be checking the blog for sure. Great. Thank you, Carolyn, for sharing that. And that's the experience that you shared with me when we met that day in Enderby. It was really neat. I'll just share with the group here. I was out doing some promotion and dropping off brochures in the Okanagan area of British Columbia, and I walked into the office and I said, "I'm Anne-Marie from Make a Change," and this woman behind the desk said, "I know, I know you guys." And it was just the most exciting moment to meet Carolyn and for her to already know a lot about our organization. It surprised me that day. It was wonderful. So it's great to have you here, Carolyn. Now, Juniper says, "I can definitely identify with the struggles of having setbacks. My career goals are to create a business that helps other people with illness. I don't have many questions, but I think this program is great, and it really inspires me. I love you stories that have been through a lot and still have success. After becoming sick, I decided I needed to have a fulfilling life, so thanks." So great for you, Juniper, for finding that spot in your life where you're ready to really focus on your career and do some discovery and development. So it's wonderful to have you in our programs. I wanted to let you know. And I'm super excited that you joined our program. And thank you for sharing this information with everyone here today and a little bit of your side of the story. Thank you. Carolyn says it was like meeting the Queen meeting you, Anne-Marie. Oh, it was wonderful. And I reciprocate that. You were like the Queen to me too. So. Okay, so I'm going to move along now, and that's sort of a nice transition. Really just looking at, this visual really shows that, doesn't it? Just what's achieved, particularly in the IBDE program, because there is a graduation ceremonies. The flexibility and support of online programming means that the vast majority of students will succeed. We're actually achieving a 100% success rate this summer in the program. We still got one course to go, but it's really our students that are achieving this, and it just demonstrates the talent and the determination there that can really result in great results, but due to the work of the clients themselves. These are snapshots taken over the years from when I've been able to attend the graduation ceremonies in Castlegar, BC. It's truly a highlight of the year for me to be able to go out and meet our graduates in person. Of course, they're scattered all across the country, so there's only a few that can attend, but it's a lovely moment out of the year for me. And this past year, we had 5 graduates actually attend the ceremonies. And interestingly enough, they were all symmetrical in height, as you'll notice, the 5 of them there. It was really nice. We spent some time together talking about careers and dreams and challenges. And it was really nice to have this experience this year. I learned so much by meeting with and talking with clients in our programs. So that's a nice transition to move into talking about our other program, which is the Business Abilities program. Business Abilities is an online program in entrepreneurship and career planning. Participants first explore self-employment and decide whether they want to move into the business planning stage or into the job preparation stage. So it's really a gateway to really look deep and make a sound decision on what's the right career choice for you. If they move into business planning, then this involves researching a business idea, preparing financials, and producing a business plan. Looking at our clients in the Business Abilities program, it's a little different than the Web Development program. Because this is funded through Government of Canada Opportunities Fund for People with Disabilities, it's a specialized program specifically for people who self-identify as living with a disability. And that's a staggering 15% of our population now in Canada. So we are offering programming to a large segment of the population. Our intake in Business Abilities is continuous, so people can apply all the time, and we're continually processing applications. We did a study of our clientele in business abilities a few years ago, and it was really enlightening for us as a team. I had seen applications coming in for numerous years, and you don't really grasp the gravity of what this population is facing until there's an actual study done. So it was a really valuable study for us. But this visual here came out of that study, and it shows the kind of the category of disabilities among our population of clientele. There's an awful lot of mental health issues. People are dealing with anxiety. So there's that, but there's also a lot of mobility issues. So people have injuries, spinal cord injuries. There's wheelchair users. There's people, an awful lot of people we learn suffering with pain, day-to-day pain. And so that's a high among our population of clientele. And then there's some hereditary diseases that our clients have. There's sleep problems. We have people with visual issues or blind. There are people with limited hearing or deaf. And we're really serving the whole gamut of people living with disabilities. How the Business Abilities program works is everything works around our program website, the BA website. And every client in our program has their very own one personal business coach as well. The clients work through worksheets, developing all the materials needed for their business plan. And as well, we have webinars on a weekly basis that tie in directly with the worksheets, and also really interesting business topics as well on the side, as well as self-help topics. We have specialized topics, greening your business, a lot of marketing presentations that are put on, and social media and marketing as well. So that's all happening, and that's how the program works. But really, what's really amazing about the program is the quality of our business coaching. We have really amazing coaches who are very experienced in business. A lot of our coaches have worked in not just one, but a multitude of different businesses and capacities. They've been out there. Sometimes things haven't worked. They've learned the hard way. Now they've been very successful as well. So now they can pass all of this great experience along in guiding clients in our program. They provide review and helpful feedback. As I said, they're highly entrepreneurial. They're great sounding boards, and they can also provide business mentorship. So once a person's completed a business plan, we can continue to help them on a business mentorship basis during business startup. When we surveyed our clients, this is what they had to say about our coaches, and it's really neat to see these words reflected. Predominantly, they say their experience, so they value that experience. Our coaches are supportive, they're accepting, they're personable, there's that in there, but this is what's really important, is all that experience and support. I find it really interesting when I look on the fingers, we see patient, we see kind in there. So it's really nice. There's a nice well-rounded approach to this service for sure. Shirley is another of our clients. She's been through the web development program, but she also went into business abilities and completed that fairly recently. I really like this quote from Shirley. She says, "The program saved my life, literally. I felt hopeless, and now I don't feel that way. I feel like I can control my destiny and do something to change my circumstances. It's a process. When disabled, you lose your self-esteem. I am a much better person now." I've met Shirley because she lives in British Columbia, so I've been able to meet her not only at the graduation ceremonies, but during my trips in the Okanagan. And I've got to say, she's always been a wonderful person, so we do sort of chuckle that she said that she's a better person. I think she's probably a more grounded person, and like she says, she feels like she found some purpose. and has something to move towards in her life. This is really interesting because there was a time when I guess I didn't realize their programs are also important because they help to alleviate poverty. So these are really nice quotes, and I'll just simply read them through. Kalinda from British Columbia said, "It has been very difficult to come to terms with the changes in my life since the accident that left me with a brain injury 3 years ago. Programming in a quiet room is one of the few options I have now to contribute financially in my home. With this training, I have also been able to participate again in the business my husband and I built over the last 14 years. We are now able to offer web design as an option for our customers." And Willie from Saskatchewan said, "The program was very detailed and very instructive. The program helped us tremendously, and it will help us make a living. Being a disabled person, I need that because I can't go out to work. This program allowed me to set up a home-based business for me and my wife to work at home." So I just think it really demonstrates that there probably weren't a lot of other alternatives for these two particular people. And this is what these programs offer, and I really have to thank, or at least I recognize the contribution of our funders and partners in making this possible. So it's not just us. We have a wonderful basis upon which we're able to offer these programs, and that's what makes these outcomes possible. So I'd like to just do another quick check-in. I'm wondering if anyone here, besides Juniper, let's say, has participated in our programs, or have you known any others who have participated in our programs? Perhaps you're here as a career professional, and what was their experience in our programs, or what do you see in our programs? Or again, do you have any questions or comments that we can address today while you're here? So does anyone have anything to add, I'm wondering?
Hello, Anne-Marie. This is David.
Hello, David.
Mike, can you hear me? Yes, I would like to share my experience. I am a current participant in the IBE program, as well as in the Business Abilities program. And I would definitely support everything that has been said so far about the program. It is very supportive and very charismatic and nice to work with. And for me personally, it definitely made a difference. It helped me finding a new path and finding new opportunities and finding new future perspectives. I came to Canada about 4 years ago with my wife, and I have a background in health promotion. I have a degree and been working in Germany in that field for a few years in health promotion, workplace health promotion, and I didn't quite have the same success here in Canada as I had in Germany. That was due to several things. I assume there is my visual disability that makes it difficult for me to adapt to new situations quickly, and some barriers that come with this. And I also experienced some discrimination regarding my language and my heritage. And so after a few tries, and third thing is I live very remote. I live in Dawson City in the Yukon, and so there aren't that many job opportunities, and especially not for full-time employment. And so I came across this Business Abilities program and the IBD Make a Change Canada organization while I was participating in the Human Rights Convention in Whitehorse in 2012, December of 2012, and just randomly I was looking through a magazine and I found that advertisement about the Business Abilities program, and it has been a dream of mine as long as I can think to work for myself and independent and self-employed. And so I applied for this program and I started the program, and I'm still in the program, close to finishing, and it helped me a lot to develop new skills in terms of graphic design, which I have been doing before out of passion and self-taught, but it was very helpful to have the guidance of teachers helping me to refine my skills and to develop new skills. And so I feel much more confident now in what I'm doing and what I'm trying to accomplish. With the Business Abilities program, it has been very helpful to reflect on my business idea, and it was also a program that wasn't only for myself a journey towards a more viable, developing a more viable business idea. It was also a journey for myself to rediscover myself and to question my assumptions, not only in terms of what I think would be a good idea and what would be helpful, useful services for others, but also to discover my weaknesses and things that I maybe need to either develop more skills or not to focus on, because I tend to get passionate about things quite quickly, and so this can be quite distracting from when you have to develop a business that is focused on some specific outcomes and services. So in the IBDE programs, I have been developing a website for friends and neighbors of mine who run a carpentry business, and I have been working on 2 other websites ever since then to build up reputation and to build up a portfolio. I don't have a website of my own yet, but my final project in the IBDE program is you can find at cmonsters.ca, and I haven't found exactly the I haven't defined yet my whole business plan, but what I will be doing is offering marketing services for people in the Klondike. So I want to serve the customers locally here, and also in remote areas. And with my background in health sciences and health promotion, I also want to address specifically professionals and organizations in the field of healthcare and social services, because now I cannot only make websites look nice and usable, but I think I have a good understanding also in terms of what it needs, what organizations need to communicate to their clients, and also from the perspective of the clients, what kind of information and what kind of website they need to find what they are looking for.
Well,
and,
wonderful.
Yeah. And
it's really a whole communications field, isn't it? You know, you're doing the technology, but it really is called the information technology communications field. And it's interesting. You've covered. I really get a feel for the complexity of your own personal situation, and I can see what you're saying. You're finding some groundedness, and I agree that your background's going to blend really nicely with being a communications technology professional. So, and you're very creative. So you really are multifaceted, and it sounds like you're arriving at a spot where you're finding that focus, you're finding the market. So I'm really pleased that you've been able to share that with us. And also you had a baby during the program. Your wife had a baby, and you were able to travel while you were studying. So there's been some additional gifts. And you've also given us some feedback as a visually impaired person to help us hopefully, ramp it up. We're always up in the ante as well to make it easier for people with vision difficulties. So thank you very much.
Yeah, I think it was as it was for me a learning process, and then the whole rediscovery. Make a Change was very supportive we're listening to it when things didn't work for me, so I, for myself, I also one thing that what I intend to also include into my web development or web design businesses now. I feel like success for me, I think I have done good work so far, but it's difficult, and starting a business is a very difficult process, and I think there's also that in this webinar, in general, it's something that every business owner wants to see, that there is success in the end of what we accomplish, and we want to have a successful business. I hope also that I will be able to make a living with this, but it's, as I said, also been a personal journey, and I definitely learned a lot about myself, and that's very useful as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. You've got such a strong career background, and I guess that's what I find really interesting. People with even great backgrounds. I mean, life can toss you a curveball, and you can find yourself starting down at the bottom again. And you're here, right? You're getting there. So this is really nice to hear. So thank you very much for sharing your perspective and your experience. Juniper, I'll just briefly touch on your question as well. You're wondering why you've been told that we can't help you with developing a not-for-profit enterprise. So what it is that actually comes from the funder themselves. It's just not an eligible type of business in the business abilities program. It needs to be some sort of a business structure, whether it's a new worker cooperative, whether it's a sole proprietorship, a limited company, that's geared towards a for-profit venture versus not-for-profit. So that, just to let you know that. And what can happen is maybe that's going to work for you, to work with a coach to say, well, how can we monetize this? How can this be a business? Or maybe that's not going to. So I hope that bit of information is helpful, but it's actually coming from the Government of Canada itself in the criteria that they set for these types of programs. Okay. So I think that we're getting close to the time when we want to start wrapping things up now. So I'm just going to cover off a little bit more about Make a Change Canada and really what's some of the really neat things coming out of our organization, really directly from the clients themselves. Every year we run a student showcase and website competition, and you can view it by going to our Make a Change Canada website. And actually David, who's in the room here, entered his project website into the competition this year. So if you go to that link, you can view the work that David did as well. We run the contest every year, so please do watch for it. And please help support our students if you have the time and do some voting. So that's really neat. You can see the websites that are being developed in the program. Every year we also put together a calendar, and the calendar features the artwork and photography of actual clients coming out of our programs. And this is a real this is a highlight for me of the year, to be putting this calendar together. Kayleen helps me with it. And we just do an outreach, and we collect materials from our clients, and then we lay it out into a really nice calendar that sits on desktops all across the country. And literally, I'll go out with calendars around the area, and people are waiting for these calendars to arrive. And I've had people say, oh, I was hoping I was going to get one. So they're really appreciated, and it's really showing the talented individuals coming to our programs. This past year we held a live event. It was an extravaganza, and I don't really want to focus too much on that. I want to focus more on how we've been talking about success here today. During the extravaganza, we did feature more client success stories. So if you're inclined, you can go and view the recording and hear more about the situations, the stories behind the people coming to our programs. I want to let you know that we're not letting go of the idea of success. In the coming year, we're going to be running a really interesting feature, and it's going to be coming to grips with what success means. Does success mean lots of money? Does it mean a great job? Does it mean that ultimate goal? Or is success a series of steps along the way? Is success a series of realizations? Is success a process? I don't know. I'm raising these questions, but we're going to turn it into a really neat communications idea, and we'll be engaging people who are following us in this conversation, doing blog posts. We've just done our first new success story we've written up. And yeah, we hope to see a lot of participation in this very interesting question of defining what success is. So just to close off now, if you're wondering if you're community minded, and if this is an organization that you're really interested in, please continue to be involved. Of course, you can participate in our programs. You can attend an online session. These are open to anyone free of charge. You can share your story, become a program ambassador, help others by volunteering through our organization. Of course, follow us in social media. And please don't forget, we are a charitable organization, and we do rely on donations. So if there are people in your family wondering, where can I give this money to, don't be afraid to mention our name if we happen to be an organization that you believe in. We are accredited as well, which was a real achievement. So we are accredited as a charity in Canada. Are there any final questions, thoughts, or comments? And I'm also wondering, what have you been able to take away from today's session? Or like I say, any questions you still would like to ask? We're at the ready. Bye, Juniper. Thank you very much. Okay, well, I think that I will just finish off and provide you with, again, a reminder of some important dates coming up. For Business Abilities, it's a continuous intake. So people can apply at any time to join us in the Business Abilities program. Web Essentials starts this October 17th, and Web Advanced will be the spring 2017. Thank you very much for your final comments. Thank you very much for attending today. If you've got any lingering questions, anything that comes to you down the road, please don't be afraid to reach out and contact us at any time. We have a toll-free number, 1-888-9-ASPIRE or 927-7473. We've got our Make a Change website with contact forms. We've got a lot of staff ready to take your inquiries, so please do feel free to contact us at any time. Thanks again for joining us. Have a great day.